What's up, everybody? It's Ian Fanatic here. Hope you all are having a great day. Coming at you from, once again, my car. Here to talk about the Stanley Cup final, the first game between the Knights and the Canes. Knights win it. They take game one. Lots to talk about here, so I'm going to go ahead and just dive right into it. Coming into this series, one thing that I actually did not mention in my prediction video is that, the Canes and the Knights, two teams that are very good on like the defensive side, and sometimes that could take over games. Not here, and probably not for the rest of the series, honestly, because this was an offensive affair. Like I love like the good like defensive games, but this was a clinic to watch, man. So talking about the goals, first period, 25 seconds in, Vegas they can't control the puck. Ehlers then has it, and he is just off to the races, man, and he scores to give Carolina the lead just like that. For Ehlers, he has been on fire for Vegas, his fifth goal in 14 games. Great for him right there. And, throughout the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Carolina Hurricanes have shown that they are very good at home. I think that is going to be something that could help them, as this series, if it does go to 5, 6, or 7 games. I think that's really going to be something that helps out Carolina, the fact that they do have that home ice advantage. If they don't blow it here, in like their future games, like they did it in this one, then like they might be good. Um, so Carolina, talking about their home ice advantage, what they've done, they've had these great starts. They've done this. They did this in their last two games against the Habs in the East Finals. So like they do it again here. Ehlers he opens up the scoring. In Carolina, how about this, folks? The Canes were 10-1 when scoring first, all playoffs long coming into this game right here. And then 12:08, Eichel's pass, it gets intercepted by Chatfield, and then he gets it to Ehlers, and then he scores again to make it 2-0 Canes right here. Ehlers, this was his second multi-goal game in these playoffs. Good for him, man. And you know what? This wasn't a case where the Canes, they just got like two lucky bounces. No, this was the case for Carolina. They were dominating on both ends of the ice. And so Vegas, their backs were really against the wall here. The Canes were out shooting them 9-2, about like halfway through, something like that. And the Canes had 6 scoring chances up until that point. But if we're talking about the Canes and how great they are at home, we got to talk about Vegas in terms of just how good they are at coming back. Even when teams, even some of the best teams, have got big leads over Vegas, and it just falls away. Vegas, they're just able to stay in the fight. And so a minute 20 after the Canes score their second goal, Knights here, they get the puck into deep on the wall, which is, that's what they had to do. That's what Vegas had to do to get back in this game and get those goals, is get those pucks, get those pucks in deep on the wall, get on the forecheck, and then the rest will do itself. And so Theodore, he shoots and he scores to make it 2-1 heading into the second period. And then 30 seconds into the second, Vegas, they waste no time at all. Eichel with a great pass to Barbashev, and he scores to now make it to now like tie up the game. So now we got ourselves a fight, right? Like we got ourselves like a big fight right here. And then 4:35 off of the draw, Marner to Carlson, and he scores to give Vegas the lead now. Again, Carolina, the big time lead that they had to start, they were feeling hot, but their fans were feeling it. It was gone. At that point, it seemed like Vegas were dominating once again, and they were right here. And good for Carlson as well. He was injured to start these playoffs. So good for him, get back on the ice, do his thing right here. And that was his third career Stanley Cup final goal. So good for Carlson right there. But, how about Carolina, man? Vegas can come back, and we know Vegas is a team, they do not quit, but neither does Carolina right here. And the Canes captain tying the game right here at 12:42. Miller, he's able to keep this puck in. He passes to Stahl, he shoots, and he scores to tie the game. So now we're all tied going into the third period. It's anyone's game right now. And a minute 21 into the third. I love these right here. I love all these, just like we don't even have to wait too much longer. As soon as like a period starts, we are getting a goal. And it happens again here. Minute 21. Brett Howland scores off of just an absolute rocket from Shea Theodore, and Vegas is back in front. And so midway through seemed like at this point, the Knights, they were seeming to take control. It seemed like, all right, Vegas is probably going to take that, take this one, which they did. But Carolina, they did give them a run for their money. But midway through, Vegas, they're called for, I would say it was a controversial icing right there. I don't think that Gosh Despair, I don't think that he got there first. So yeah, I was kind of just concerned about that. You know what? Head down like this cup final. Whoever wins it, it is what it is. I don't want it to end in some like controversial way. You know, if it's like the last game, if it's like game 7, I don't want it to end in some like controversy. Like, oh my gosh, like this guy, like it wasn't icing or like it wasn't a goal. You know, I don't want that. No, and I don't think any other fan wants that either. You know, we want like fair play right here because look what this led to. Look what it led to. Right off of the draw, 11-19, Shane Gostisbehere scores, and the game is tied. Once again, Vegas, here they come again. Less than 5 minutes left. My former boy, Colton Sissons, excuse me. See, that's why I wore this shirt right here for my former boy. Good for him. Again, a great assist, which would eventually be the game winner. This unreal backhand to Hurdle, and he scores, which again, that would give Vegas the game winner. Once again, Knights, they take game 1. For Vegas, this was some history made. Vegas, they became the first road team in NHL history to stage a multi-goal comeback win in game 1 of the Stanley Cup final. And the fact that it was in game 1, I think is like, it's very important. You know, if you look at the recent history of like the Stanley Cup final, the team that wins game 1, they often go on to win like the rest of that series. So Vegas, they are set up very nicely. However, here's where I give the Canes credit because we saw this like against the Habs. Habs, like they did great in that first game. And then Carolina, they figured Montreal out and they were able to destroy them. So this series, obviously we know, is far from over. And so, you know what? I cannot wait to see what happens in game 2. But fans, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you all did enjoy, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, and you can join our Fanatic Army. And honey salutes to all of you as always, and I hope that all of you have a fantastic day.